Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasumi Balachandran.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charita Minipurarachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The President takes several decisions preventing an impact on the people and economy when imposing travel restrictions. Vaccination outside the Western province begins. Kandy will get vaccines from next week. The Prime Minister instructs the central bank to properly perform its duties in the wake of the pandemic. $3,000 million annual investment expected from the Colombo Port City project. 8 persons, including Senadipati, acquitted from the floating armory case. The fire at the cargo ship has been doused.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail. Travel restrictions will be imposed from 11 p.m. today, covering the entire island. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has taken several decisions preventing an impact on the people and economy when imposing travel restrictions. The government has imposed travel restrictions to control COVID pandemic. Accordingly, travel restrictions are enforced from 11 p.m. today to 4 a.m. on the 25th. Thereafter, travel restrictions will be imposed again on the same day from 11 p.m. and it will be effective until 4 a.m. on the 28th. The President has held a discussion today with the COVID Prevention Presidential Task Force, ministers and relevant officials on the measures to be taken when imposing travel restrictions. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that authorities should provide what is needed to maintain civilian life. All the teams should work together. Although there are ministers, state ministers, doctors and specialists, what is needed to work is as a team.
Epidemiologists लाई, doctors लाई, specialists लाई ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය ටීම් එකක් හැටියට වැඩේ කරන එකනේ.
It was decided to maintain factories, to keep pharmacies open, production of bakery products and distribution, and to keep organizations that distribute shipping cargo open when the travel restrictions are effective. The President has instructed to provide essential food items without a shortage to the people using regional mobile services. It was decided to provide Satosa with the essential consumer goods that have been confiscated and to deploy the group recruited under the 100,000 jobs program to pack sacks of goods at stores of Satosa island-wide. A decision has been taken to issue permits through divisional secretaries to distribute essential goods and to deploy army with police at roadblocks. The President has emphasized that giving permission to transport goods a day before to open economic centers, agricultural activities, daily cleaning measures including removal of garbage in all cities and development of roads and other constructions should not be affected due to travel restrictions. The President has instructed health authorities to entrust the treatment of infected persons to the organization itself if an infected person was found following PCR tests at a government or a private institution. It was decided to use facilities at the Ayurveda hospitals also to treat COVID patients. Although travel restrictions would be lifted on the 25th and 28th, the people will be given permission to leave their homes only to purchase essential consumer goods. Several vaccines ordered from foreign countries are expected to reach the country within the next few days. The President emphasized the need to accelerate vaccination programs to control the present situation. The President said that it is important to directly inform him about matters without frightening people by conducting unnecessary media briefings by government officials and responsible groups. The President pointed out that decisions were taken so far and future decisions will also be taken according to the advice of relevant expert groups. The President emphasized that he would not hesitate to take any correct decisions on behalf of the people. The ministers briefed the public on the steps taken to meet the needs of the public during travel restrictions. The President said it is the duty and the responsibility of the people to follow advice given by health sectors for the success of the government's program to control the pandemic. Ministers Pavitra Vanyarachi, Gamini Lokuge, Johnston Fernando, Bandula Gunawardana, Prasanna Ranatunga, Ramesh Patirana, Nama Rajapaksa, Rohita Gunawardana, State Minister Sudarshani Fernando Pulle, Shashindra Rajapaksa, Channajai Sumana, MP Madhura Vithanage, President's Chief Advisor Lalit Veeratunga, Armed Forces Commanders, health authorities and a group of people attended the discussion. A media briefing was held today at the Government Information Department on the measures taken by the government on behalf of the public during travel restrictions. Minister Johnston Fernandez said that instructions have been given to keep the pharmacies open, and as a government, the program to distribute groups will be implemented.
ෆාමසි ටික ඒ නගරවල විවුර්තව තබන්න අපි නියෝග කරලා තියෙනවා ඒක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා අත්‍යවශ්‍ය පරිභෝජන භාණ්ඩ
The government has taken steps to provide essential goods without a shortage to the public. Minister Bandara Gunawardena said that all measures have been taken by the government to supply essential consumer goods without a shortage. Shipping agents and shipping lines have been permitted to function. All warehouses of importers of goods will be kept opened. All 400 South outlets will be opened, but there will not be retail sales.
The group that has received the first dose of the vaccines under the COVID-19 vaccination program has increased to 1,425,566. First dose of Sinopharm and Sputnik V vaccines and the second dose of the Covishield vaccine has been given to 24,733. The first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine has been given to 15,988 yesterday. Accordingly, 485,373 have been given the vaccine. The second dose of the Covishield vaccine has been given to 87,338 yesterday. So far, 313,699 has been given the vaccine. Minister Keheliya Rambukwala says that Sputnik V vaccine will be given to all citizens in the Kandy district. A further of 2,891 COVID-19 patients were detected today. 1,828 fully recovered patients have left the hospitals today. Accordingly, the total recoveries in the country has increased up to 125,360. A total of 31,228 COVID-19 patients are still receiving treatments in hospitals. Director General of Health Services has confirmed that a total of 38 COVID-19 related deaths have occurred during the period from May 7th till May 30th. May 20th. 24 of them are more than 71 years old. The intensive care unit with 4 beds built at Colombo East Base Hospital with financial assistance from the Ceylon Bank was vested with the public today under the patronage of Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi and Army Commander General Shavendra Silva. The Engineering Corps of the Army has given its labour contribution to build the unit. Health Ministry Secretary Major General Sanjeeva Munasinghe was present on this occasion. Dry rations worth more than 700,000 rupees were given to the people affected by the COVID pandemic and floods. It was given on a request made by State Minister P.L. Nishant to Pakistan High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Major General Muhammad Saad Khatak. The dry rations were handed over to the ministry today at Hunupitiya Gangarama Temple.
Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemanta Herath said that the authorities have held discussions on oxygen capacity, the number of ICU beds, full capacity of the health sector due to the present situation of the pandemic.
We discussed about the capacity of the health services to cater the increasing number of cases. At this moment, as I pointed out, we have sufficient number of bed strength to cater the increasing number of cases. But since these cases need to be transported to 148 places scattered throughout the island, there has been a legitimate delay in certain places to take these infected persons to the relevant treatment center. However, this has been now mitigated by taking specific action to monitor the people, which has been already taking place through our hotline and other means. And also the oxygen capacity of the health ministry facilities are still far ahead of the current requirement, because it is not every person infected with COVID-19 requires oxygen therapy. Only a proportion is required, to which the Ministry of Health is capable of providing the therapy. But also we'll have to keep in mind that Ministry of Health is taking every possible measures to increase its capacity to provide oxygen therapy to face any type of eventuality where the number of cases can go up and the oxygen requirement can go up, for which the ministry is planning, and at present they are successfully implementing the mitigative activities to cater the oxygen requirement that might arise in future.
And meanwhile, a sound response has been received for the request of Minister Namal Rajapaksa to donate blood to meet the shortage at the blood bank. Accordingly, several blood donation programs took place under the health protective measures. A blood donation camp took place today at Ambalanthota Beragama Galwila Historic Temple. It was held under the guidance of Chief Prelate of the temple, Venerable Beragama Vimala Buddhithera, with the aim of providing blood to Hambantota General Hospital. Another blood donation program was held at Gol Akmeeb International Youth Brigade Centre. It has been organised under health guidelines. A blood donation program organised by the Central Provincial Council's Audit Department took place at Central Provincial Council Complex today. It was held under the direction of the Blood Bank of the Kandy General Hospital. A blood donation camp was held today at Bandarawala Youth Brigade Centre under the supervision of the Blood Bank at the Badulla General Hospital. And Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed the Governor of the Central Bank to perform their duties to the maximum level with the aim of economic stability of the country. A meeting has been called to decide and to guide on taking decisions related to economy. It was held at the Temple Trees today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. A group of officials, including Central Bank Governor, gave an analysis of the present situation. State Minister Ajit Nivad Cabral, Prime Minister's Chief of Staff Yoshitha Rajapaksa, Prime Minister's Additional Secretary Chaminda Kularatne, and Governor of the Central Bank Professor W.D. Lakshman were present on this occasion.
The government says that the country is expected to get $3,000 million annually as investments from the Colombo Port City project. This was mentioned during a press briefing today at the Government Information Department on the Port City Act, which was passed yesterday.
Port City is a world-class facility. It has some very important and up-to-date incentives for the investing public. So investors could make use of this, and it is comparable with any of the world-class facilities which is offered in the region or elsewhere, and take the use of our strategic location. In view of this strategic location, people can serve as a connecting destination from Middle East to Asia and from there on to Europe. This destination is one of a kind, very strategic. That is why there is so much of interest in this country. There is no taboo for anyone to come and invest here. Investment is open for all. As long as you bring investment, you apply for license, you can obtain the license and invest in this place. Granting license is nothing to do with the Port City Company. Granting license is the sole authority of the Commission. Commission is appointed by His Excellency the President of the country. President is appointed by the people of this country. There is absolute sovereignty vested with this Commission and to the President to do what is right for the country. What we are interested in is to make this as a clean, safe haven for pure, good international investment. We all know it could be a service hub, as a monetary center, a financial center, a service center, and also as a port. And in view of that, there's absolutely nothing to worry, because the normal Sri Lankan laws totally applies for the entirety of the port city, other than those which are specifically exempted, under which certain exemption could be granted.
8 accused, including chairman of the Avant-Garde Maritime Services Company, Nishanka Yapa Senadipati, who gave been accused of maintaining an illegal floating armory in the sea near Galle Fort, have been acquitted from the charges and released. High Court Justices Aditya Pattapadige, Banjula Tilakaratne and Mahen Veeraman gave this unanimous judgment today. The other accused who were acquitted and released are former chairman of Lanka Security Company, Victor Samaravira, Nandana Diabalage, Nilupul Costa, former Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defence Samanthi Sanayaka, Alfred Tilakaratne, and captain of the ship Ukrainian national Gennady Gabrielov. Mr. P.B. Premachandran, who has been named as an accused, died when the court case was proceeding. Given the judgment, chairman of the 3-judge bench, High Court Justice Aditya Pattapadige, said that former Defence Secretary Karunasena Hettiarachchi disclosed that approval was given to Avant-Garde Company and Lanka Company under the Defence Ministry to maintain a floating armory in the Red Sea. The justice pointed pointed out that the letter submitted to the court by the accused stating that it was issued by the Defence Secretary for keeping firearms and ammunition in the ship has been accepted as a legal document by the former Defence Secretary through his evidence. The judge bench said that the complaint has filed to prove that it was a forged permit. Justice Aditya Patabendige said that the complaint should have acted more carefully when filing a case on the armory, which has been established on a policy decision taken by the government. He emphasized that there are serious problems when arresting suspects of the case. The chairman had said that it is not justifiable to produce and accuse disabled and retired military officers to be an employee of the avant-garde company. He further said that foreign captain of the ship had to undergo a heart surgery in the country without being able to go to his country. The justice emphasized that when examining the details, the criminal justice process of the country have to be looked at again. Accordingly, the three-judge bench unanimously decided to acquit the release and all suspects since the complaint has not been able to prove the charges without a doubt. The three-judge bench said that an order will be given to release the deposited money placed in the court by the accused and to reward their foreign travel ban and the Immigration and Immigration Controller. A case has been filed in the Colombo High Court under 7,573 charges against 13 accused, including Nishanka Yapa Senadipati, for keeping illegal firearms and ammunition in MV Avant-Garde ship. Accepting the preliminary objections raised later, the High Court judge bench decided only 19 charges out of 7,573 charges filed by the Attorney General could be maintained. Accordingly, the court case was held in connection with the 19 charges.
Sri Lanka Navy, Air Force and the Fire Brigade of the Port Authority have doused the fire erupted at a cargo ship in the sea closer to Colombo port. The fire had erupted in the ship yesterday afternoon. The Express Pearl ship under the Singapore flag has arrived to enter the Colombo port with 1,486 containers. Sri Lanka Ports Authority said that the containers had 25 tons of nitric acid and other material responding to the fire. Sri Lanka Navy sent Sagara and Sindhurala ships. The Navy said a tugboat of the Port Authority was also deployed to control the fire. The ship had a crew from China, Philippines, India and Russia. Minister Rohita Begunawardena visited the Port Authority yesterday to look into the matter.
මේ නැව ලංකා වරායෙන් සෑහෙන ඈතක තියෙන්නේ.
Chairman of the Ports Authority, General Dayarat Naik, said that although the fire was doused, relevant teams are on standby to handle any emergencies.
And the government has decided to cancel the state Vesak festival organized centered around Nagadeepa in Jaffna due to the pandemic. However, the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs said that development activities of all religious places will continue. This was revealed during a media briefing today at the Government Information Department. Secretary to the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Kapila Gunawardena, said that plans have been made to carry out development activities and social services in stages. 38 million rupees will be spent on the development of temples in the northern province. 14 billion rupees has been spent for development activities at the Nagadeepa temple. 1 billion rupees has been spent to develop 2 kovils in the area. 3.5 million rupees has been spent to develop 7 churches. Apart from that, 3.3 million rupees has been spent on renovating a mosque. 15.3 million rupees has been spent on 19 Dhamma schools in the northern province. 10.5 million rupees has been spent to provide stationery to 35 Dhamma schools. Welcome back with your sports update. The B team led by Kusal Mendis registered a 2-run victory over A team led by Kusal Janith in a 40-over Interpol training match played between Sri Lankan players who are taking part in one-day cricket series against Bangladesh. Batting first, B team led by Kusal Mendy scored 284 runs for 5 wickets in 40 overs. Roshan Dikwala scored 88 runs in 63 balls. Kusal Mendy scored 69 runs in 49 balls. In reply, A team led by Kusal Janit scored 282 runs in 37.2 overs. Vanidu Hasaranga scored 79 in 39 balls. Ashwin Bandara was not out on 80. Charmika Karuna Ratna took 3 wickets for 40 runs. The Sri Lankan-Bangladesh 3-match series will commence on Sunday, will be telecast live over ChannelEye of the national television. And with that, we conclude tonight's news. It is tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.